Helpless and desperate,
I found the courage to pick up the books and read them.
NEET PG students plea for help.
हमारी मांगे पूरी करो, हमारी मांगे पूरी करो।
Medical students seek more time to prepare for exam. Just 10 days to go for entrance exam. Chorus for deferring NEET grows louder. Aspirants say NEET clashing with counselling.
Whenever there is a COVID wave or something, the government always asks us, the frontline workers, to come and help. But when it comes to us, there's no one to help.
15 डेज में 19 सब्जेक्ट कैसे पढ़ सकते हैं हम? रिवाइज कैसे करेंगे? जो मिड रैंकर्स हैं उनका लॉस हो रहा है, जो इंटर्न्स भी छूट रहे हैं उनका लॉस हो रहा है।
Can India ignore this plea? NEET students SOS.
It's a truly tearful plea by NEET aspirants all across the country, across medical disciplines, and there's no joking. These are India's future doctors, and they're saying you need to postpone this exam because the exam is too close to the counselling date, and it gives them no time whatsoever to study and revise for the national eligibility cum entrance examination for their postgraduate courses. Take a look at this report, and then I'm going to bring you the actual voices that have brought national attention to the story.
I found the courage to pick up the books and read them so that I can do better for my nation.
India's COVID warriors, those at the forefront of the pandemic fight, in tears, protesting on the streets once again.
हमारी मांगे पूरी करो, हमारी मांगे पूरी करो। We need.
If the last 2 years of the pandemic weren't enough, with just 10 days to go for NEET PG exams, anxiety and panic is now leading to nervous breakdowns.
We have to go from college to college and apply for the state counselings, and at the same time we have to prepare for the exams also. So we are in a dilemma whether to go for the counselling or we should study for the exam.
Delay in last year's NEET PG counselling is at the root of this crisis. Students had approached the Supreme Court against the Government of India's decision to arbitrarily increase reservation quota for the OBC in NEET PG. The result, interns and medical aspirants kept waiting for counselling to take place. Now students say that counselling is just about wrapped up, and studying for 19 grueling subjects in 10 days is tough.
वक्त कम है क्योंकि उन्होंने फर्स्ट टाइम जब डेट रखी तो 6 मंथ के अंदर ही डेट रखी थी जो मार्च में थी, फिर उन्होंने पोस्टपोन किया 2 मंथ से। अभी मतलब हमें कभी भी ऐसी स्टेबिलिटी नहीं आई। कभी लगा कि हाँ 3 महीने में एग्ज़ाम है, कभी लगा 2 महीने में एग्ज़ाम है, तो हम मेंटली स्टेबल हो ही नहीं पाए और ठीक से कॉन्सेंट्रेट भी कर ही नहीं पाए।
Last year, the exam was held on September 11th. It's now scheduled for May 21st, 2022. The counselling ended on 3rd of May, leaving students with just 12 days to prepare.
We are not into politics.
अच्छा।
We are not aware of all these things. हम पढ़ाई करेंगे, इन चीज़ों पे ध्यान दें।
जो मिड रैंकर्स हैं उनका लॉस हो रहा है, जो इंटर्न्स भी छूट रहे हैं उनका लॉस हो रहा है। अगर 10-20 दिन या 6 to 10 वीक्स का अगर जो ये पोस्टपोनमेंट कर देंगे तो उसमें कवर भी हो जाएंगे, इंटर्न्स भी आ जाएंगे, मिड रैंकर्स का भी मतलब लॉस नहीं होगा। इससे मतलब आई डोंट थिंक ये जो पोस्टपोनमेंट नहीं चाह रहे हैं उनका कोई लॉस होगा इससे। अगर होता है तो लॉस हमारा ही हमारा होगा बस।
Medical Students Association has sent representations to the Health Ministry as well as appealed to the PMO to postpone the examination.
पिछले वर्ष का एडमिशन प्रोसेस है वो ख़त्म नहीं हुआ है, तो एडमिशन प्रोसेस ख़त्म नहीं होने की वजह से इनको कई स्टेट्स में जाना पड़ता है। अभी जो ये लोग कुछ लोग हैं ये कई स्टेट से अपने काउंसलिंग अटेंड करके आए होंगे, बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जो आने वाले होंगे, तो इस तरह से इनको एक कम्यूटेशन का भी प्रॉब्लम होता है और अपने कोर्स को रिवाइज़ करने का भी प्रॉब्लम होता है। अगर कोविड के वजह से डिले हुआ या फिर जो भी एग्जामिनेशन को मैनेज करने की वजह से डिले हुआ, उसका हर्जाना सिर्फ ये एक बैच क्यों भुगते, ये हमारा सीधा प्रश्न है।
Meanwhile, the All India Medical Students Association has knocked on the Supreme Court's doors once again.
Whether or not the government feels that this time around NEET PG examinations can be postponed will determine what will be the future, especially for mid-rankers who slog day and night to prepare for these very tough examinations and give India the doctors of the future. With Ravi Totawar in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Now, this young future doctor you see on this screen is Dr. Vibha Prakash of Bengaluru. This video of her making a tearful plea for the postponement of the NEET 2022 PG examination has gone viral all across. And she's become the face of NEET aspirants over what they think is going to be disastrous for their futures. Listen in to Dr. Vibha first.
All we asked was 8 weeks, 8 harmless weeks, which would have done us so much of good and which wouldn't have harmed anybody else. It took 2 years to reach a state where, I felt like my mental health was getting better. And it took just one decision to squash all that progress I had made, to squash all my efforts, all my dreams, my aspirations, not just me, but thousands like me.
Dr. Vibha Prakash is the young future doctor in that video that's gone viral, and she joins me live from Bengaluru now. Dr. Vibha, thank you very much for your time. I know this is a moment of emotional turmoil for you and many young future doctors like yourself. Dr. Vibha, we've just heard your video. We've heard your tearful plea. It's a video that people in their millions all across the country have just seen. I'm going to put that video on my screen right now as well. Dr. Vibha, your emotions, your thoughts right now, because you've become the face in many ways of the NEET, the NEET controversy and the plea of thousands of students like yourself for the government to postpone the NEET this year. Dr. Vibha. Can you hear me, Dr. Vibha? Okay, that's Dr. Vibha on your screen right now. I'm going to try and correct that audio. What a pity. Dr. Vibha, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dr. Vibha? Okay, let's just play out once again this viral video of Dr. Vibha's tearful plea, and then I'm going to correct that audio and bring Dr. Vibha into this conversation. Let's play that out once again. Put the sound up.
All we asked was 8 weeks, 8 harmless weeks, which would have done us so much of good and which wouldn't have harmed anybody else. It took 2 years to reach a state where, I felt like my mental health was getting better. And it took just one decision to squash all that progress I had made, to squash all my efforts, all my dreams, my aspirations, not just me, but thousands like me.
Dr. Vibha is live with us. I hope you can hear me, Dr. Vibha. That video has just been seen by millions of people across the country. That is real emotion there. We can feel your pain, your anxiety, the horror of realization that this examination is just a few days away that will shape your career. Take us through what's going on in your mind right now.
I think when I speak today, I speak for all the aspirants, at least most of the aspirants of NEET PG 2022. Last, 1 or 2 years have definitely not been normal, I would say, mainly due to the COVID pandemic situation. And I think a lot of us have worked on ground in addition to preparing for this exam and giving this exam. So when there has been, so much of irregularity and discrepancy in the way the exam was conducted, the way the counseling was conducted, the dates and the manner in which the entire thing happened, it was quite stressful for all of us. And I think, I'm sure all of us are already aware about the gross disparity between the number of MBBS students graduating and the number of PG seats that are available. So there are only so many students that make it through a year in a given year. So whoever are the mid-rankers, that is, they have like a decent rank, but it's not good enough for them to get a branch of their choice. They are the ones who are left in the soup because they weren't sure if they were going to get through the counseling last year and, how it is, whether, when to start preparing for this year, when to revise. And so it's been a lot of, we've all been in so much of turmoil, I would say.
There's just only a few days to go now, Dr. Vibha. Your video is perhaps the most prominent image of this entire crisis so far. That's one of the reasons why the media, we've been covering it for the last few days, but the rest of the media has now woken up because sometimes it takes a crying voice like yours, to wake up the sleeping media. And I want to ask you, do you think anything's going to change because it's only a few days away now?
The answer to that is I honestly don't know. Because I think we are putting forward very valid and justified arguments. I know there are subset of students and probably even our seniors who don't want the postponement, but majority of us do. And, last 1.5 months, we were just fighting for this, and we were really hopeful that, a favorable decision would come through. But I think yesterday, a particular notification was released by NB stating that, okay, guys, your exam is going to be on 21st of May in bold, and your hall tickets or admit cards will be issued soon. I think that is when most of us lost it. And I think that is where all the emotion really came from in that video, because it's really shocking. And it's, the time is not sufficient. The last year's exam was conducted very recently. The counseling is still ongoing. So I think there has to be a decent gap between the last year's exam and the counseling and the next exam. It's just logical. So
I want to ask you, Dr. Vibha, I want to ask you a specific question because, like I said, from policy makers to persons in government, people who have the power to, do something about this, they're all listening to you because, that's the nature of a viral video. Let's face it. When a video goes viral, people are listening, whether we like it or not. And, whether you're comfortable with it or not, you've been thrust into the spotlight now and become the face of this protest. I want to ask Dr. Vibha Prakash this evening, what is the possible damage that can be done to the future medical profession, the next generation of doctors, if this NEET exam is not postponed? What is your fear? What kind of impact can it have?
I think NEET and this profession is already quite infamous for being really stressful. And when our, juniors see us struggling, they know that, it's coming, that, there is going to be a lot of struggle, at least during this period. And the struggle never really ends, to be honest. And so I think it is so important for us to kind of win this whole fight that we are fighting, because that is when, that is when it will be clear that doctors are being heard. Because whether it's violence against the doctors or we're bringing up some other issue, Public doesn't care, policymakers don't care, and it's really disheartening to know that you live in a democracy and your voice is not being heard because we're fighting for this since so long, and so many of us, in fact, and yet we have not received one single official statement from the health ministry, which is very disappointing.
No, I mean, the hashtags are trending. There are thousands of tweets coming out from from doctors and NEET aspirants about basically pleading with the health minister, the prime minister, and others to step in, say something, respond, take cognizance of this student crisis. Stay with me, Dr. Vibha. We have some more doctors as well. We've got many voices. In fact, we've been inundated with voices today after we said that we were going to pick up this story on 5 Live, on my show. Dr. Avinash Kumar is also a NEET aspirant. He also joins us live from the national capital. Dr. Avinash, welcome. You have other doctors with us. We have Dr. Vibha Prakash also with us. I'm sure you've seen her video, Dr. Avinash, because her crying video has gone viral. It's become representative of the pain and anxiety of doctors like yourself. Tell us where you stand and what the doctors with you think. Dr. Avinash.
Yeah, actually, sir, actually last year NEET 2021 counseling has just finished 2 days back, and some state is still it is going on. And the next our next exam NEET 2022 is scheduled on 21st May of this 21st May. There is a small gap between the counseling process and this exam. So this is not adequate for us to prepare or even for revise our subject, because especially mid-rankers are suffering from this situation, because in the counseling process of NEET is not so easy. It's a complex process. Yeah. We have to travel different states. I have also traveled 2 or 3 states. Yesterday I came from Patna. So during that, to appear in that counseling, we have to also make the bank draft, we have to bank guarantee, we have to travel a lot, we have to appear in the counseling. And one thing I like to say, ki 1,50,000 to 2 lakh doctors had appeared in this exam. Out of that, only 20 to 30,000 had got seats. Remaining 1,50,000 NEET aspirants who did not got any seat in this counseling, they have to appear in the next exam. And we have
Dr.
only
Avinash,
10
you have
days
some
or 11
doctors
days
with you.
to
I think
revise our...
there are some doctors standing with you. Can you speak to some of them? Get me some quick opinions from them as well.
Yes, sir. Okay, you want to say something?
I just want to say that our exam should be postponed, as we have the genuine reason. The date between the counseling and the exam is very less, and we can't revise all the 19 subjects. This is a basic problem, and the problem is with the mid-rankers. The mid-rankers have to travel a lot for two different states to get into the counseling. And one more most important thing is 5,000 interns. Those who are not eligible because of their COVID duties, the government should make them eligible in this exam and should postpone this exam to 6 to 8 months, weeks. Sorry.
Dr. Vibha, I want to bring you back in on this. See, the thing is, time is running out now. We have highlighted the story. That's our job here in the media, which is to put a spotlight on this story, shine the light on the, the plight of students and aspirants like yourself. My question to you now is, with such a small amount of time left for the actual examination, you are a doctor, you're a medical professional, so, you have a scientific mind. You obviously always expect the worst also. Do you have a plan B? What if it does not get cancelled or postponed?
Well, the plan B is just to, be brave and sit through the exam, because what else can we do? And yes, we won't be well prepared, and probably will land up, in the same space again. And we'll probably be having such discussions again next year down the line. So, this whole thing where we are in this phase where we've already finished our MBBS, we're aspiring to do our postgrad, it's very taxing on us and the entire family. It doesn't even allow us to progress in our personal lives. So just because we are giving all our 20s into this and a good part of our 30s as well. So I think, and it's not like, we're not hardworking or we're bad students. It's just that we need some time to be prepared and give it our best shot. And I think we are being deprived of that. That was one point. And the second point is, all those people who are saying that, we need people as soon as possible. A very, a fresh batch just joined, like the people who finished the counseling, they have just joined. And there is a certain hierarchy that we follow in the medical field. There is a PG, Y1, Y2, and Y3. There are 3 years of postgrad. So if my senior has just joined, what expertise does he or she have to teach me? And there'll be like a competition between us, especially in surgical fields which are so competitive. Obviously, my senior won't let me do anything or won't be able to teach me till he's thorough with the things. So it makes no sense to have such a small gap between 2 batches. And the other argument that has come up is that we want to normalize the exam schedule. I don't think the burden of that should be on a single batch, because post-COVID, it has wreaked havoc. And if you ask maybe the economists, can you bring back the economy of the country back in a single year? Will that be possible? No, it's going to take a lot of time after what the pandemic has done to us. So, plan the exams the next few years in a manner so that you can regularize the academic schedule. Why put the burden on one single batch is what all of us asked. And the plan B is just, I don't know, just give the exam without the preparation.
I understand that sometimes you have to take a fatalistic view, but you are doing your bit to try and get the government to do what is right in your view. Stay with me, Dr. Vibha, just for a couple more minutes, because like I said, we've been inundated with voices of young doctors and aspirants like yourself who've wanted to get their voice heard in the national media. And that's the reason why on India Today we recognize this story. We've been reporting it for the last few days. Here are some more voices, and then we'll wrap up with Dr. Vibha.
एक्चुअली क्या है कि मैम प्रिपरेशन के लिए पूरा टाइम ही नहीं मिला। जब मैम लास्ट हमारा एग्ज़ाम सितंबर 2021 में था, अब सिर्फ टोटल 6 मंथ्स हुए हैं, तो मैम कहाँ से प्रिपेयर कर लेंगे मैम? ये
मिनिस्ट्री से कोई रिस्पांस ही नहीं है। हेल्थ मिनिस्टर मिलना नहीं चाह रहे हैं, जो उनके सेक्रेटरीज हैं उन पे उन्होंने डाल रखा है, तो दे आर नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग लाइक दैट। तो और वैसे भी टाइम इतना कम है, पिछले एग्ज़ाम में इस एग्ज़ाम में प्रॉपर टाइम नहीं मिला, प्लस स्टे वैकेंसीज और काउंसलिंग साइमल्टेनियसली इट इज़ गोइंग ऑन।
यार इतनी असंवेदनशील है कि उनको समझ आना चाहिए इंडिया का सबसे टफेस्ट एग्जाम है नीट पीजी जो बच्चे देने जा रहे हैं। 2 लाख फॉर्म भरे गए हैं उसमें। अभी तक जिन बच्चों की कोविड में पोस्टिंग डिले हुई थी, अभी तक उनकी पोस्टिंग कंप्लीट नहीं हो पा रही है। कैसे आप एग्जाम करवा दोगे?
हर दिन एक न्यू रूमर्स भी आ रहे हैं कि अभी पोस्टपोन हो रहा है, तब भी पोस्टपोन हो रहा है। ऑलरेडी देयर इज लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस कि लाइक इतना पढ़ना है, 19 सब्जेक्ट्स, इट्स नॉट ईजी टू बिकम अ डॉक्टर एंड लाइक द लाइफ इज इन आवर हैंड, सो वी आर गिविंग आवर बेस्ट। एंड हर दिन ऐसे स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन रहता है कि लाइक आज पोस्टपोन होगा, कल पोस्टपोन होगा, ठीक है पोस्टपोन नहीं होगा, बट देन वी जस्ट नीड अ क्लियर क्लैरिफिकेशन।
Dr. Vibha, I started with you, so I'm going to end with you. And once again, like I said, when someone becomes the face of a story, people pay attention. So I want to give you the last minute here on the show, Dr. Vibha, to speak your mind. You've shown your emotions in this video. It has moved a lot of people. Now I want you to spend the next minute imagining that you're speaking directly to the government now. Take us through what you want and what you're hoping to see happen. It's over to you, Dr. Vibha.
Thank you so much. So I would just like to tell all the government officials and the policy makers, and I speak on behalf of all my colleagues and the other NEET aspirants, that we are the junior doctors who have stood at the front line and fought the COVID battle for you. So all of us, I think, as interns or junior doctors, we were on the front lines these past 2 years, even during Omicron, which happened just a few months back. We were there, we have done our duty. So if, we are just asking for what is right, why are we being denied of that? So, we are given tags like COVID warriors. There are, vessels that are being clattered for us. So when we are actually asking you for something which is well deserved, please do look into it, reconsider your decisions. The exam is just 10 days away. All of us are under immense stress. So I would request our Home Minister to release a statement very soon. Thank you.
Dr. Vibha Prakash, you've been very brave. Thank you for your voice. Let's hope the government is listening. Let's hope they see sense in what you're recommending. We on India Today have played our part in reaching your voice to all these millions, and we will keep track of any decisions that will be made. We wish you the best, no matter which way this goes, and we will continue to track the story. Dr. Vibha Prakash, for speaking to India Today, thank you very much. Well, that's a wrap on 5 Live. Thank you so much for watching. We will continue to put the focus on big student stories here on India Today. Coming up next is 6 p.m. Prime with Nabila. Our language war news break has gotten much bigger. It has set the news agenda and sent other media into a flutter following this story. Mahesh Babu says Bollywood cannot afford me. Well, Nabila does a deep dive into the big South-North film war. And who else but Ram Gopal Verma joins her live on the other side of this break.
NASA beamed doctors into the middle of the International Space Station while they were physically on Earth. This might seem like a scene from a sci-fi movie, but this technology now exists. NASA tried this new method to ensure medical help is provided to people in adverse situations. This is being called the first holoportation handshake from Earth in space. So what is holoportation and how does it work? According to NASA, it is a capture technology that allows high-quality 3D models of people to be reconstructed, compressed, and transmitted live anywhere in real time. When these images are combined with mixed reality displays such as HoloLens, it allows users to see, hear, and interact with remote participants in 3D. The technology gives a feeling as if the person is right in front of you. NASA says that the technology could be highly effective in deep space where communication lag is a major problem due to the immense distance between Earth and other objects. Using the Microsoft HoloLens Kinect camera with custom software, NASA flight surgeon Dr. Joseph Schmid and their teams were holoported. They interacted with astronaut Thomas Pesquet in a two-way conversation. Holoportation is not new. It has been in use since at least 2016 by Microsoft. But this was the first use in such an extreme and remote environment as space.
You are watching India Today.